Hey everybody, I'm about to be live with my brother Datin. We're going to be talking about the new song. We're going to be talking about our relationship, our friendship, how that began, just the way God designed this whole thing. So I'm really excited to be on live tonight. How you doing? What's today? Happy Wednesday. Oh,
Yeah, it worked.
it
It worked.
worked.
Yeah, I was banned. They ain't let me go live forever for like 8 months.
Oh my God. What did you do to get banned?
Absolutely nothing. It's funny because I had I made a post and that post started to like go viral. It was on its way. It did like 100K in a day. So it did
Whoa.
100K in a day, and I'm like, okay, this post might go viral. And then boom, I all of a sudden get a notification for a 3-year-old post. Like, yo, you promoted violence on this post. So
What?
we're restricting your account. I was like, yo, it was nothing violent about it. I'm a Christian
Come
rapper.
on.
And
Yeah, I know.
I was talking about my past in the joint, talking about how Jesus saved me from hustling. They was like, you promoting violence. I'm like, all of my content is like this.
Yeah, well,
And
I
all of
hope
a sudden, I can,
that they do that to every single rapper out here who's talking about shooting and killing and hoochies and the whole 9 yards.
yeah, that
That,
don't make no sense, right? It's like, yo, how
well,
convenient. Yeah, they're like, hold up, this kid about to make some noise. Bang. And they block my joint.
yeah,
So
I agree. Dayton is one of the illest MCs out here. That's what it is.
appreciate it.
You was unleashing violence on the devil. That's why
That's
they
exactly
got obsessed.
who it was. Yeah. They ain't like that. They were like, wait, he against this agenda we got going on. So
Yes, exactly.
yeah.
Thank you guys. I'm so happy people are joining. Bro, how you doing?
Tired. I might have mad bags under my eyes. You already know. Newborn, he's colicky, so it's been a rough
Oh,
couple of days, man. He's suffering. Yeah,
oh no,
he's
baby.
suffering. So like the past like 3, 4 days, he's getting a little rash on his face. He's
Mm,
just crying hysterically, and it's like, yo, what do we do? So we ain't been
no.
sleeping too tough, but
But
man,
thank you so much for joining then. Like,
it's all good.
golly, I
It's all good.
appreciate. It's so crazy because you just had a baby, like literally weeks. You know what I mean? And you have not missed a beat. I look at your hustle, I look at how hard you work, and I'm like, wow, God bless you for real.
I appreciate it.
I
I
appreciate
mean,
it.
I'm blessed to be able to do this full time. So it is really, and then also because we had the baby, they've given us a break at the church as far as our role. I haven't preached for over a month.
Okay.
So it's like, not much going on with the
I
church.
need
We
to come
actually,
see you
yeah,
preach. I need to, because
yeah.
everyone on here know that Dayton is not only one of the illest MCs out here, but he's also Pastor
Yeah.
Dayton. Do y'all all know that? Because, I know people they know the music, they love the music, but like seriously, you really about this life. You out here. I've seen Dayton with signs on the road, like Jesus loves you, like really out here doing the work, man.
Praise God. Appreciate that, sis. So
Incredible.
yeah, we just actually went back to church last Sunday for the first time since the baby was born.
Mhm.
So like all I have to do is this. Now it seems in this season like nearly impossible to do. How can you write when you got a crying baby? And then it's just like because he's so fussy, you gotta hold him. You hold him,
Yeah.
you spoil them. Now it's like I put him down and he wows out.
Yep.
So it's like, man, this is rough. But God is gonna give me grace and
He'll help
time
you
management as
guys
He
through
always
this
has.
season. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's It's a hard season. The beginning, I don't even know. I think about it now. My brother just had a baby too. My nephew is just he's like 2 months old now. And I went for the first couple weeks to just be with them, and I was remembering how crazy it was for us. Like we were just like desperately trying to sleep, desperately trying to figure out, how to coexist with now this new baby who has his own personality and wants what he wants, and it'll get better. It will get good. They do say you can't spoil a baby. I've heard this is what the scientists are saying.
I see all of the stupid Instagram posts, but then when you ask an OG,
You
they'll tell you
know,
you can
yeah,
absolutely spoil. Ask an old Puerto Rican. My mom be like, you can absolutely spoil a baby,
right.
and I'm seeing it.
No,
Yo, they
and I
put them in the
know
twins.
because my nephew, because of my son as well, so it's true. All right, well, I
Mm,
don't want to keep you too long because I know you have a new baby and you need some rest. So if he's sleeping, we need to get you a nap.
mm.
But I just wanted to, first of all, I wanted to say thank you so much for being on the single with me. This is my first single in almost a decade,
Oh wow.
um, which is it's crazy. And to be honest, I didn't know what was going on. Like I didn't know what happened. My music is my life. It's always been my life. It's what saved my life. Like before I knew God, God used the music to save my life, to redirect me from suicidal thoughts and anger and the hood. Um, but there was a time, there was a good period of time that I was not inspired to write. And that's frightening. For somebody, I've been in the music industry since I was 11 years old. So yeah, so to have such a long time where I just didn't feel it was hard. I did write a book in the midst of that, for those of y'all that don't know. So maybe it was like I needed to birth other things in me first. I lost 3 children. Um, and it wasn't until I was pregnant with my son that I felt inspired again. And that was wild because I didn't even know my son was going to survive. Like it was that crazy for me. Um, but I promise for those of you who are joining and don't know, Dayton and I dropped a single it's a new month. So at the end of last month called I Promise, and it's our vow to and I wrote it specifically for my son, and his verse is specifically for, he didn't even know yet, but we'll talk about that. I want to hear from you about that. But it's specifically for a child and him rapping to his child. And yeah, this society right now does not promote family, does not promote, coming together as a family unit, strengthening your family unit, speaking life into your children, into your spouse, and stuff like that. So yeah, this is what this song is about. And Dayton, let's talk about it a little bit. I asked you to be on this project with me for several reasons. First album in over, almost a decade. I'm here in Florida now. I'm no longer in Brooklyn. I had no idea who to work with. So the first person I called was you. Bro, I trust you. Who do I work with? And you are the one who suggested uh, Manny Ferreira, so Manny versus World Studios here in Orlando. And that was a God thing because I haven't felt comfortable to work in the studio along somebody that I could trust in so long. So anyway, I hit you up and I asked you to be on it. Talk to me about that. Like, why'd you decide to be on it? Why, and just how the process went for you, because it's wild what actually wound up happening.
Yeah, so why of course, you family. So there's just outside of music. We've never done a song before. This is the first time, but we've been cool for years. And man, people, I always say this behind your back, right? When your name come up, I be like, yo, my life, praise be to God, is great. I feel like it's a season where I'm in the will of God.
Mm,
Of course, marriage wise, look what came out of it, a beautiful baby boy who I've been waiting for my whole life. The church situation, I'm growing in this pastoral role. I've connected with artists and with brothers like, my man Azika, and I do life with him, Monster Tarver. So me remaining in Florida has also impacted other people's lives by
Mm,
the dozens. And
mm,
and
mm.
I was dead set. So people don't know, when I went through my divorce, I was dead set on, like, first of all, let me backtrack a little bit. I was caught up in my emotions. So my thing was, oh yeah, you want to go ahead, pick up, leave with another dude. What I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna radically change my life. It's like a big screw you to them, the world, to everybody. And I was gonna move to New York, to Queens, New York, to work for Grateful Apparel. And so I go over there for 2 weeks, right? Because I was staying with my mom in Ocala in my 30s with my mom. That joint was just like it crushed my ego.
I remember.
So I'm like,
Yeah.
yo, I'm gonna take and I'm gonna move to Queens. So a little bit before that, I had met you at TBN. You didn't even interview me yet. I did a song with Pablo. You interviewed Pablo. I was on his set. You and I met. And I was like, yo. He was like, yo, you recognize her? I'm like, yo, she looked familiar. And he told me, yo, she got the record with Papoose. I'm like, that's crazy. Yeah. I was like, yo, she saved. He's like, yeah, she's solid. So we hit it off right away. It was cool fellowship. And now I go to New York. I fully, like, I'm a man of my word. So I told Ray, who's one of my best friends, the owner of Grateful Apparel, I'm like, yo, I'm gonna work for you. I'm moving up over here. And I give my word, and I get this message from you, mad random, and you like, yo, I know, you don't know me like that, but I really need to. As soon as you land, we need to get up. If I'm not mistaken, I feel like I remember I literally landed and got up with you and your husband, right?
That's exactly what
Yeah.
happened because you were landing in Orlando,
Yep.
and yeah, oh wow,
Yeah.
wow, that's
Yeah.
crazy.
So you was like, yo, let's get up. So I met y'all at a McDonald's, I believe. And probably the last time I ever ate McDonald's in my freaking
I
life.
think
But
it was I think it was Chipotle or something like that.
no, I think it was
Oh,
Chick-fil-A.
Okay, it was one of
Might have
those.
been.
Yeah.
Yeah, one of those. One of those. All right. We saved. It was Chick-fil-A. So anyways, we eating the Lord's chicken, and you was just like, yo, I could see you felt uncomfortable. You was like, yo, I'm not this type of person. I don't be telling people what to do. I'll never hit up a stranger and be like, yo, I strongly feel like you shouldn't move to New York.
Oh my God.
And I'm not the type of person to just receive what everybody has to say. There's
Yeah.
so traveling, you meet so many whack jobs that everybody got a word for you. Everybody in every city you go, there's somebody that got a word that want to speak a prophecy over your life. And it's just like, and it be fluff. When you
Mm,
said it, it resonated with me. It wasn't like,
mm,
I was like, damn. And I remember in the conversation, what I pulled from it is like, yo, in this season, instead of being around, working and trying to do a big screw you, look how much changed my life. I needed to be around people who loved me because in that season I was still hurting.
yeah.
So that's what I pulled from it, and I decided to stay in
Can
Florida
I,
because
let me interject real quick.
yeah,
I was so nervous to tell you that. Cause I'm like, I really respected you. We hit it off, and I had you on my show at TBN at the time, and that was when I met you in the thick of it, and you were very vulnerable at the end. Like, privately, you weren't like bleeding out in public, but I knew you were in a special place that I needed to handle with care, and I wanted to just honor and respect that moment for you. But when you had told me that, I could not shake it. And then when you met with me right after you landed from New York, and we're sitting there, and I could just feel it bubbling inside of me, like burning. And I'm like, yo, I just have to tell him. And I really didn't know how you were going to take it. Like, who the heck am I to tell you anything? But I really felt like God was like, This is a word, and you need to give it to him. And by the grace of God, you did receive it. But go ahead, continue. I just wanted to
Yeah.
interject my feelings, because sometimes we be having words for people, and it don't feel like, it's the right time or it's perfect. But you just have to be obedient. But go ahead.
Yeah, amen. I'm glad you were obedient. So because you shared that with me and it resonated, I know how often I'm just be like, especially when I'm in my feelings.
Mm.
That day, I had a long drive back, like an hour and a half, and I didn't listen to any music. I throw on beats and write. I was just thinking like, yo, I think she's right. I prayed a lot on the ride, and by the time I made it back home, I already made a decision. Like, even when my mind would try to be like, nah, but you gave your word, I would feel convicted. So I'm like, this is the Lord. So I decided to stay, and I absolutely see why. Like, yo, I am so sure. This would be the politically correct thing to say, but I'm just so sure that I'm in the will of God being married to my wife. So much
Ugh,
kingdom purpose comes from it. Not just that
God.
we're madly in love, but just so much, so many other lives are touched. There's purpose in our marriage because we link. Lives are changed. Glory to
Ooh.
God. Not that we're anything special, but God just decided, yo, I'm gonna take you and use y'all. So nobody can tell me nothing. Because of that, I got a high level of respect and honor for you. Then I've asked you, yo, Jeannie, you want to come all the way to freaking Tampa, Florida, and come sing at my outreach that would, and you've come. So it's like when you asked me, I was kind of like, you, the report we got right now, you can make demands. You don't have to be like, yo, do you think you could get on the song? You could be like, hey, write to this. So I was like, of course, you family.
Yeah.
So I decided to do it. You gave me the concept. And when you gave me the concept, I kind of was like, all right, I want to stay there because you gave me multiple options. But look at God, right? You said you could do a verse about your wife. And I was like, nah, I want to do one where it's like, it's general, but it'll be inspired from a little bit from, my nephew, when my nephew was born. It could also go for like, yo, if I came to see your son when he was born,
Yeah.
or it could be my own. So it's this very general verse. And I do that joint. I think nothing about it. My wife's pregnant now, about to have a son, and then you randomly hit me and was like, "Yo, ain't it crazy that?" And I just thought about it and was like, "Yo, that's crazy how this was pre-written, and now it fits this situation." You know what I'm saying?
Oh
So it
my
makes it.
God.
By the time we release it, I literally have a son and the verse fits perfect. It's like prophetic in a sense.
Absolutely. And that's what it was. And I wrote the song I started writing the song before my son was born, because I didn't know if he would live or not. So even that was wild. And then I had the baby, and then I finished writing the song, and then I reached out to you, which was it was divine design. Like, this is what
Mhm.
God, he he did this, like, for this time, for this moment. And I think what's so amazing about having you on the track, and when I saw your clip, like your reel of your verse, I've never seen you look like that, Dayton.
Mhm.
I've never seen Dayton the dad.
Mhm.
And I don't know, that made my heart burst with just joy and thanksgiving to God, because um people see us in our different elements, and we're, we from up north, and we hood, and we about this life for Jesus. Like, we will lay our lives down for the gospel. Like, that's how the conviction of what we do in ministry and in music is. But to see a tender side, like, this is a kind of a look into your home, like into what you're talking about, you now being with the love of your life. This is divine,
Mhm.
a divine marriage, a divine everything. Now God has granted you your son, like, we got a little glimpse into that side of you, Dayton, that I don't know if we'll get more of or not. But I'm honored to be able to show the world that side of you through this song. So I think somebody on the chat asked, what's the topic? And we're talking about I Promise is a single that Datin and I just released. And it's everywhere that music is sold. It's called I Promise, but it's about a vow that we're making to our loved ones. And then specifically, we're talking about our sons, but also it could apply to our spouses. It could apply to our parents. It could apply to anybody you're in relationship with, for you to do the hard work on yourself to be a good reflection and in relationship with them. So yeah, I mean, this is a topic that I think needs to be talked about. And if we're being honest, it's not talked about. Like in hip hop, we don't hear this much. We don't hear about like doing the hard work to work on you. Like, I think you and I have very similar temperaments actually. And, you know, I'm constantly having to go to the Lord with I'm very blunt. I can be angry sometimes and it don't come across the right way. I could be, you know, very just to the point and hurt and cut people with my words. And I have to do better. I have a son that is mimicking, so you'll get there, Dayton, but he's 2 now and he's mimicking everything I do. Like when I raise my voice, then he's like, "Rah, rah, 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 rah," like raising his voice back. And I'm like, whoa, like I am molding him. And it's important for me to do the work on myself so that I raise somebody that is not, you know, is not out here like raised like a pack of wolves. You know what I mean? Like I didn't have Christian instruction growing up. I'm grateful for my parents. They did the best that they could, you know, but I didn't have somebody raising me up in the Lord. What you and I are giving to our kids is different, but we also got to make sure we practice that. So that's our promise, you know, to like really not only speak the word, sing the word, rap the word, live the word, you know. So I don't know if there's anything you want to expound on that, but like dating the daddy, like that's a beautiful look. I think men everywhere should look at that, should make a similar vow to their families to really do the hard work on themselves and to raise their children up in the Lord. But I'd love to hear if you have anything.
Yeah, I mean, I don't. Yeah, I think they're gonna see. The problem is my problem is, so I've learned to. I went from being very reclusive, very like sheltered. Not I wasn't opened up. You know what I'm saying? And once I started to open up and experience freedom for
Mm,
myself, and then also see it bear fruit in other people's lives. Now sometimes I err too much on being too transparent. You know what I'm saying? Now it's like, I can be a blabbermouth with what's going on. And I'm become an open book, which is just strictly God because I was never like that. I wouldn't tell you if I
mm,
had a headache. Now it's just like I'm Mr. Blabbermouth about my business because I see everything as a witnessing tool. You know what I'm
mm,
saying? It's not just gossip or chincha. It's like, I see it as an opportunity to take this situation, turn it to an illustration for someone else. You know what I'm
mm.
saying? So
Yeah.
as far as Daddy dating, of course they'll get more of that. I'm already, a song in writing about him and just what I plan on, what I hope my hopes and dreams for him is. So
Mm,
yeah, there'll be a lot of that. There'll be a lot of marriage songs. There'll be a lot of stuff coming out before I tap out and I'm done with music.
that's beautiful. Can you talk, first of all, I don't want to hear any of that before you tap out. Don't be trying to tap out on me,
Not
Dayton.
yet, not yet. I still got some time, God willing.
Yes. Talk about that though, like kind of showing that side in hip hop because you know we hear our boy D1 is always like trying to come for people's heads, like all y'all talking about is violence and all this stuff, and but like talk about having content like this. Like, what do you think it'll do for the culture?
So first, shout out to D1. I've got, I've definitely supported everything he's doing. Got a couple comments like, "Oh, you trying to jump on the train that he's jumped on?" Hey, I wrote a song called "Turn It Off" in 2008 and it went MySpace viral. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
I've been, and it was about that. And then
Oh,
it got re-released on another beat in 2012. So I've been on that. I got a
yeah.
mixtape called Turn It Off Volume 1, was written and recorded in 2011, released 2012. So anyways, I ain't jump on nobody's bandwagon. I've been about this mission as well, because I firsthand experience from other gospel artists, Christian rappers. Even there's like a positive rapper. I'm not gonna promote him now because he's straight away, but he wasn't a Christian rapper, but positive. And his music at the time blessed me and bear fruit in my life. So me being on the receiving end of that and being blessed by it, I say, yo, I want to emulate that. Take some of my experiences, put them in the music, and see if it can have the same impact. If I can impact people just as much as I've been impacted by others. So I know it can. I also know on the flip side how these negative messages will impact you. I
Yeah.
had both parents in my life, right? Both parents in my life. I
Hmm.
started off, if there's anybody from my block, started off, I was not a gangster. I was not a gangster. I got picked on in kindergarten and first grade and second grade. You know what I'm saying? Of course, the streets will turn you to an animal, though. You could stay prey or become the wolf. I had to become the wolf. Like, yo, y'all not gonna be picking on me no more, because
Yeah,
I was
no.
little. And then I start listening to music, and the music becomes the standard for cool, for what's cool. And now it's like, yo, I don't want to. I got PTSD from being a little kid and getting hit in the head with a bottle from the biggest bully in school. Like, that really happened. He hit me, or the bridge of my nose hit me with a bottle. So it's
Mhm.
like I would go through it in Newark, and it's like, yo, I'm not going back to that. So if I don't want to be eaten by the wolves, I gotta run with the wolves.
Yeah.
Who taught me how to do that? Hip hop. I love hip
Mm.
hop so much. It's brought a lot of good to my life, but it's also trained me to be a monster.
Mm.
So you know what? Being as like the good kid and not wanting to do this, kind of playing a role to fit in with the wolves, and then you know what? Before you know it, you forget that you a good kid. You really become like the actor trapped in the movie role. And I really became that stuff. And it really was like, yo, it got to the point in the hood where there was just, it would be myths about me. Stuff I ain't even really do. Yo, watch out for Datin. He a shooter. He shoot people. Yo, watch out for
Wow.
Datin. Yo, he little, but he'll shoot you. And I'd be like, yeah, I do shoot people. I ain't never shoot nobody. So there was myths and rumors about me because I would lose. I had the crazy temper.
Yes.
So, and
Mm.
I had to. I'm 5'8" and I'm around 6 feet
And
two,
you
six.
light skin with color eyes, like
Yeah, so I
it's
had
all a I know that hood, even for me as a girl, like being the light skinned girl with the color eyes in the hood, it's like we have to fight to defend our honor. I
yeah,
know.
in order to get respect, and it got to the point where I ain't nobody gonna play me ever again. So now, rewind. Who was my sensei, so to speak? Who was my teacher throughout all of this? Hip hop.
Yeah.
So it can deeply impact somebody. I remember this. I'm gonna mention it in a song. So for all 21 people in here, they'll hear it. I remember this moment. Like I feel like it's not that I had the Holy Spirit, but God was definitely knocking on the door of my heart, and He would do these little things. And I didn't know the Lord at all. I remember being hide in a mug, right? I'm in the mirror. I had a full body mirror, and I had my gun with no clip in it, and I'm just with the blunt in my mouth, and I'm just clicking, clack, 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 clack at
Mm.
myself in the mirror,
Mm.
and being super high, and just got this boom, this feeling like it hit me like, yo, who am I? What the heck am I doing? Who is that
Wow.
right there? I don't know him. I don't like him. He been
Mm.
around too long. He gotta go. I don't
Wow.
like him. You know what I'm
Mm.
saying? I hated that dude. And I'm looking, aiming the pistol at him. So it's just like, this is what the impact that music has had on me. But it can also then later on, I seen its benefits when my man was ministering to me. He was playing Christian hip hop, and it was having a positive impact and ministering to me. At the time, I wasn't. Now I could get with worship because I've been conditioned. But at the
Yeah.
time, like, yo, you go to church for 17 years, you're gonna get conditioned. But before, it's like I ain't trying to hear that
Yeah.
garbage.
Right.
I would listen to hip hop and it
Mm.
ministered. So now here I am trying to undo. I'm trying to minister to that kid that was me,
Mm.
who was all caught up in the web of lies and deceit that hip hop provides, and then trying to reach that person and be that voice like how the truth was for me, how, you know,
Mhm.
Lavoisier was for me, other people, Bizzle was for me. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So I just
And
went
can I just
on a long
say,
rant.
that's real though, and I love it. Thank you for being that real, because that's the truth, and it's important what we put out here in this world. Like it's important. And I'm grateful for hip hop. I'm grateful for R&B. I'm grateful for the urban side of Christian music, because it would not it's not going to reach like the standard worship music is not going to reach people like us, that we were lost in the hood. We don't even know what that is. That's not our language. It's not our culture. We don't understand it. We will reject it.
Yeah.
So thank God for like hip hop like yours, where, and I'm very picky with hip hop, because I mean, I grew up in Brooklyn, you know what I mean? Like my standard is DMX. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, come on, like, like I like that raw, gritty, like, and so obviously it's why I've loved you and your music from the beginning. I'm like, oh yes, this is the type of music that I would listen to and I like. Um, but yeah, thank God for the pushback. Like there needs to be, the only thing for evil to prevail is for good people to stand by and do nothing. You know, the famous
Amen.
quote. Like here we are, God has given us gifts. We used it for the world. You were, with Eminem and running with all of them. I was out in the secular world with Rihanna and all of them, in our secular days. It's like we have a duty to now take our gifts and use it for the glory of God. And I'm just grateful for you. I'm grateful for your life. I'm grateful that you stayed in Florida.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
I
Definitely.
mean, to me, to this day, it's like surreal, because I know how scared I was to tell you. Like, I really feel like God didn't want you to leave, because I didn't really know you like that.
And just to
But
confirm that it was the right move, Grateful Ray ended up moving to Orlando. So it would have been the biggest waste of time. I would have ended up having to move back anyways. Like,
yeah,
so I just would have wasted time and been in the wilderness out in Queens somewhere
a little longer, right?
when I
Yeah.
stayed, when I stayed, everything quickly elevated.
Mm,
Like
mm.
I literally, you know, when you growing up, you got them summers that's like the best summer of your life, or this best season when you be like, dang, man, I wish I could go back to 99. I wish I
Yeah.
could go back to 2007. Like I got special years in my life. I had went through so much crap in 2017, such
Yeah.
a bad year that, and then like the top of 2018, like yo, the end of 2018, mid to end was like the best year ever. Like, and
Mm.
19, you know, I met my wife, a lot of stuff going on. We touring, it's fun. I'm just like, it was the greatest time of my life. That I wouldn't have got to experience any of that either if I wasn't in Florida.
It speaks
So yeah.
to obedience, though, right?
Yeah.
Like there is such safety in obedience, and then not only safety, but there's also blessing, and you're living proof of that. And now we got baby boy Zion with us, and I just thank God for what He's doing in your life and your ministry. You're a pastor now. You, like, you know what I mean? Like you got ordained. Like you probably, none of this probably would have ended up this way. So
Nah,
it's
never.
really, it was God's design. To God be the glory. I take no credit. I didn't know anything about you or your business. The Lord just, He just used me in that moment to share something, and you did the work. You are the one that had to obey, and as a result of that, look what the Lord has done. But y'all, thank y'all for tuning in. Like, I promise is the song, and we have it out. We do want to encourage you, if you want to post a clip of you with your family and make that promise, get this song just going, like keep it in rotation so that people can hear positive music about family. This isn't particularly, it's not like a worship song. The rest of my album is more kind of testimonial, when I'm talking about what Jesus did to me or through me, or how He's using, something in my life. But this song is basically my vow to those that I have here. The Bible talks about loving the Lord your God with all your mind, your heart, your soul, but loving your neighbor as yourself. And this is what that song is. It's loving the people around us. And obviously we have to love ourselves in order to do that. So, the only way I can love me is through Jesus. And I know it's the same thing with Dayton, but Dayton, I am so grateful for you. I know that, you talked about why you hold me in high regard, but this whole album, it, I, this whole album was birthed out of me asking you, who should I connect with? And the Lord led you to connect me with Manny. And Manny was a safe place for me
That's
to create. And that I grew up in the music industry, so that alone, the trauma that comes with that, the lack of trust, the snakes, the dog eat dog world kind of mentality, it was hard for me to find a safe place to be this vulnerable. The album is called Letting Go, and it's super vulnerable, and I talk about a lot of vulnerable things, but it's popping though. The music is hype. But the content is real, and I wouldn't have been able to create the way I did had I not worked with Manny. So Dayton, for real, God bless you. Thank you. And for those of you who don't know, Dayton has been such a blessing, even in this process. I haven't had music in almost a decade. I don't know what the heck I'm doing in this world, in this new social media world, in this new algorithms and reels and all this stuff. And Dayton has been a big brother to me, 100%. And I really am grateful for you. And I'm looking forward to our next song, bro, for real.
Yeah, for sure. You already know I'm about to juice you dry for vocals. Like, hey, I need a hook on this, need a hook on that.
Let's
So yeah,
go. I'm still
I'm gonna be getting
inspired.
that. Yeah, for real. We're gonna talk more. Matter of fact, when we get off, I'm gonna leave you a message because I have something else I want to tell you about
All
music.
right.
But
Awesome. Thank you
yeah,
guys all for tuning in. I promise, make sure you get it, keep it in rotation. And yeah, Diego, seriously, relationships are everything, especially in this industry. And it's even better when it's in Christ. And y'all keep us in prayer. We will keep you and your family in prayer. Just seriously, like, safeguard your family, safeguard your kids. The enemy comes to steal, kill, and destroy, but God came to give us life and that more abundantly. And we about
facts.
that life. We about that life. We promoting God. We promoting truth. We promoting, everything that He asks us to in obedience. So love y'all. Thank you, Dayton. Love you, bro.
Love you, sis. Talk to you later.
All right. God bless y'all.